Welcome to Ultra Recap. Today, we're diving into a dark fantasy thriller that flips the classic fairy tale upside down, Damsel. In the kingdom of Ara, the king and his knights ride across the hills in pursuit of a dragon. They chase the creature into a cavern, where they witness something that leaves them utterly stunned. Just then, the dragon swoops in and unleashes a fiery blast, wiping out most of the knights in one breath. She then uses her powerful tail to snatch up the rest one by one, ending their lives. Finally, she approaches the king, who collapses to his knees, resigned to his fate. Centuries later, in a northern region, Floria and Aloe are gathering firewood, whatever scraps they can find. They are the daughters of the local lord, doing what they can to support their struggling people, who are battling starvation and the brutal winter. More residents leave each day, putting the very future of their town in doubt. Out of nowhere, a carriage appears, an unusual sight since visitors are rare. The sisters rush home, where they find their father, Lord Beeford, and their stepmother, Lady Beeford, speaking with a nun who says simply, "We will do," before departing. Lord Beeford then explains that the royal family of Araya has requested Aloe's hand in marriage to their prince. Aloe is initially resistant, but Lord Beeford persuades her by explaining that the marriage would bring in enough wealth to sustain their people for years. Not long after, the family sails to Ara. As they approach the kingdom, their ship enters a thick fog, and eerie shapes lurking in the darkness make them uneasy, until they realize they are flanked by enormous dragon statues. Upon arrival, the family is struck by the kingdom's prosperity and the grandeur of the palace. Servants escort them to their quarters and inform them that they'll meet the royal family the following day. That evening, Aloa steps onto her balcony to enjoy the view and spots a girl about her age on another balcony, though a maid quickly escorts her away. Unable to sleep, Aloa passes the time drawing, then notices that the other girl's room is now dark. She's also puzzled by torchlights flickering in the distance, suggesting someone is ascending the mountain during the night. The next morning, Aloa's family is introduced to the royals. Queen Isabel sends Aloa to spend time with Prince Henry before the wedding. Though the beginning is a bit awkward, Aloa and Henry soon warm up to one another and share a lovely conversation. When Henry compliments Aloa's drawings from her letter, she brings up the mysterious torchlights. Henry explains they were part of a centuries-old ritual honoring their ancestors, held on the same day as the wedding. Elsewhere in the palace, Lord Beeford finishes negotiating the marriage agreement with Queen Isabel and appears deeply troubled. Lady Beeford tries to console him, but he brushes her off. She then attempts to speak with Isabel, hoping the families can build a relationship. Isabel coldly dismisses this idea, insisting that the marriage is merely a strategic exchange. She needs a princess, and Beeford's people need resources. She also reminds Lady Beeford of her humble origins as a ropemaker's daughter, warning her not to overstep. When Lady Beeford tries to correct Isabel's mispronunciation of Aloa's name, Isabel ignores her and walks away. That night, Lady Beeford, growing increasingly uneasy, tells Aloe she suspects something sinister is going on and advises canceling the wedding. Before they can talk further, Lord Beeford enters and sends them all to bed. The following day, the maids prepare Aloe for the wedding, dressing her in an elegant gown and giving her a ceremonial dagger and perfume diffuser. The ceremony proceeds smoothly. Aloe and Henry exchange vows and rings, share a kiss, and Aloe is crowned. After saying farewell to her family, she departs with Henry for the mountain ritual. They climb a steep staircase, and Aloe is unsettled to find a gathering of people in haunting golden masks, with Isabel now dressed in a nun's robe. The queen hands Aloe a coin, claiming she's helping to safeguard the kingdom, and begins recounting an old legend. According to her tale, the island was once home to a dragon, the last of her kind. When settlers arrived, the dragon attacked. The king gathered his troops to defeat the beast, but she killed all except the king, who was forced to sacrifice his 3 daughters in exchange for peace. As Isabel tells the story, Aloe becomes increasingly alarmed by the unsettling stairs and the rickety bridge they're crossing. Isabel then explains that the king's offering is reenacted every generation. She slices Henry's and Aloe's hands and presses them together to mix their blood, declaring Aloe now part of the royal lineage. Aloe tosses her coin into the chasm, assuming the ritual is over, until Henry unexpectedly apologizes and hurls her into the abyss. Screaming, she crashes through branches and lands in a muddy pool, unconscious. She awakens bruised but alive and starts calling for help. The area is empty, but her cries stir something deeper in the cavern, a dragon. As her grief morphs into rage, Aloe rips off her jewelry and begins climbing, only to fall and injure herself further. She then spots jewelry that isn't hers and realizes the terrible truth. Many girls have been sacrificed like her. She follows a flicker of light into a cave, where she finds a bird engulfed in flames. She tries to save it, but it's already dead. Suddenly, hundreds of flaming birds burst out of the cave and die mid-air, their bodies illuminating her path. As she explores, Aloe comes face to face with the dragon. She hides as the creature speaks, saying, "Royal blood must always be offered," and she can smell it in Aloe's veins. Aloe realizes the blood-mixing ritual is a deception to fool the dragon. The dragon urges Aloe to flee, and she scrambles into a tunnel, just as flames chase her. She finds brief shelter next to a burned body, the same girl she saw on the balcony. Her dress snags as she tries to escape again, but she rips away the crinoline and dives into another chamber. Fire singes her leg, and she screams in pain, but the dragon can't follow into the tight space. Once the coast is clear, Aloe uses the dull dagger to cut fabric from her dress and bandage her injury. She lights the diffuser as a makeshift lantern and discovers a narrow passage. Crawling through it, she again gets stuck but frees herself and falls, extinguishing the flame. Refusing to give up, she pushes forward, limping toward a distant light. She finally exits the tunnel, only to find herself on the edge of a cliff. Spotting light across the chasm, she discards her wedding ring and leaps. She nearly falls, but catches herself with a belt that soon snaps, though she saves herself by jamming the dagger into a crack and climbing up. She finds glowing slugs and fashions another lantern using a sleeve. At a nearby pond, she tries to drink, but finds the water foul until she notices clean ice dripping from above. As she collects drops, a red-tinted glow reveals the dragon breaking through the ice above her. Aloe flees once more. The dragon gives chase, but can't follow into the next tunnel. Inside, Aloe finds graffiti that reads, "Safe here, she cannot reach, V." She finds dresses and names of other sacrificed girls, including one labeled Victoria. She mourns them and tries to rest, only to see ghostly visions of their final moments. Victoria's ghost warns Aloe that everything is a lie. When she awakens, she finds healing slugs on her wound. Amazed, she uses them to treat other injuries and discovers a tunnel map marked by one of the girls. Encouraged, she carves her name on the wall and sets off, following the directions. She reaches a wall of crystals where sunlight filters in. Nearby lies a crown with a V, proof Victoria nearly escaped. Aloe wraps her hands in cloth and climbs. The dragon, silently watching, stirs when a crystal snaps and Aloe almost falls. She clings to the crown and scrambles to safety, only to find herself at a ledge. As she sobs in despair, hoarse sounds alert her to riders below. Aloe shouts, but the dragon reappears and blocks her exit. She retreats and finds another not-safe message from Victoria, her remains nearby. The dragon prepares to strike, but is interrupted by a voice calling Aloe's name. Lord Beford has arrived with knights and a guide. As they descend, Aloe follows the voices. Along the way, she finds a dragon nest with 3 baby skeletons and remembers Victoria's words. A flashback reveals the king slaughtered the dragon's young. Her attack was vengeance. Instead of killing him, she cursed him to suffer through generations. Aloe finds her father but keeps hidden. The dragon attacks, killing a knight and the guide. Lord Beford confronts her, begs forgiveness, and tells Aloe not to reveal herself before the dragon impales him. Aloe sobs quietly, kisses her father goodbye, and climbs using his rope. The dragon kills the last knight and resumes the hunt. Aloe tricks it with a decoy horse and hides. Back at the castle, Isabel prepares to sacrifice Floria. Henry refuses to hurt a child, so Isabel uses her own blood and throws Floria in. Aloe rushes back, finds the empty bridge, and tracks Floria to the dragon's lair. She sets a distraction with flaming armor, sneaks inside, and awakens Floria. When the dragon returns, Aloe tries to reason with her, but fails. She redirects the dragon's fire with a sword, but is thrown into a lake. Floria tosses her another sword. The dragon grabs Aloe and impales her, but Aloe stabs its eye. Injured, she lunges again, stabs the dragon's paw, and notices a stalagmite reflecting fire. She lures the dragon to fire again and dodges. The flames ricochet, fatally striking the beast. Aloe shows her scar, proving the victims weren't royal. The dragon asks for death, but Aloe refuses to continue the cycle. She heals the dragon with slugs. At the castle, another wedding is underway. Aloe interrupts, warning the bride. The dragon arrives and incinerates the royal bloodline. Henry accepts his fate. The castle crumbles and Aloe walks away in silence. Days later, Aloe, Floria, and Lady Beeford, now fully recovered, sail home with gold and supplies. They promise to rule justly together. Aloe even calls her stepmother Mother as they travel. The dragon soars past.